Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have very important news for all Poppy Playtime fans because we can finally say it officially. The ARG of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 has begun. After weeks of doubts, theories, and speculation, Mob Entertainment has broken the silence by publishing a very peculiar image. But be careful, because this is not just a simple teaser image like the ones we've seen in the past. This image was also published as an official event on Steam, and this detail completely changes everything. For this exact reason, we can say with certainty that this image represents the beginning of the ARG for Chapter 5. And this is huge news, especially because the game should be releasing in less than 1 month. Many people thought that, considering how close we are to the release, there wouldn't be any ARG at all. Instead, it looks like the ARG is actually happening, even if it will probably be shorter and more compact compared to the ones from previous chapters. In this video, we will do several things together. First of all, we'll take a close look at the new image published by Mob Entertainment. Then we'll analyze it, trying to understand every single detail, every part, and every possible hidden reference. As always with Poppy Playtime, nothing is left to chance, and even the smallest element could hide a crucial clue for the story of Chapter 5. We'll also try to understand what kind of ARG awaits us. Whether it will be directly connected to the main lore, whether it will tease new characters, new locations, or maybe key events that we'll see in the final game. So get ready, because there are many secrets to uncover. Before we begin, as always, remember to leave a big like on the video if you love Poppy Playtime and want to support the channel. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because in the next few weeks, there will be a lot of updates, theories, and analyses focused on Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. With that said, I think we're ready to start. Let's go take a look together at the image and let's analyze it. Now let's start analyzing the image. What you are seeing on screen is the new official image released by Mob Entertainment. Every element has a very specific purpose. Let's start with one of the most noticeable elements, which is located right in the foreground, the VHS. This detail is extremely interesting, because for those who have followed Poppy Playtime since the beginning, the VHS is practically a symbol of the series. It could be a very clear hint that Mob Entertainment will soon release a new VHS video connected directly to Chapter 5. As we know, every Poppy Playtime chapter has always started with a VHS video, which serves to introduce the chapter with a jingle song. In most cases, this video was released before the official launch of the game, becoming a sort of fundamental first piece of the lore. The only real exception was Chapter 4, where the VHS video was released only after the game came out. But now the presence of the VHS in this new image could indicate a return to the past, meaning the classic way of introducing the chapters. If that is the case, we might expect a new VHS video coming very soon, maybe as the very first official content of the ARG. But that's not all, because in the same image, we can also notice another very important detail, the audio cassettes. On these cassettes, there is a very peculiar phrase written, which is lab only use. This sentence is anything but random and already gives us a very clear hint about the type of content we might expect. The wording lab only use suggests that these audio cassettes contain material reserved exclusively for the laboratory, meaning information that was never meant to be shared with the public or with regular Playtime co-employees. This opens up very interesting scenarios, because these could be secret recordings, experiments, internal communications, or confessions related to what was really happening inside the lab. Considering the lore of Poppy Playtime, we know very well that the laboratory has always been the dark heart of the entire story. Everything labeled as for lab use only implies secrets, ethical violations, and information that someone tried to hide. As a result, these audio cassettes could play a central role in the ARG and possibly even in Chapter 5 itself. Just these two elements alone, the VHS and the audio cassettes, already make it clear that Mob Entertainment is focusing heavily on storytelling and on the gradual discovery of secrets. And this is only the beginning of the analysis, because the image still hides several details. Now let's move on to the Steam page. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this image was not only posted on social media but also in the events section on Steam, and this is far from a minor detail. When Mob Entertainment decides to use Steam in this way, it usually means they want to draw attention to something very specific, and above all, what we are seeing has a direct role in the ARG. Within the events page, we can clearly see the same image, but accompanied by a cryptic writing. At first glance, this text seems almost unreadable because it shows the classic signs of corrupted text, with visual glitches and distorted characters. We know this style well, and it is typical of all content linked to the deeper mysteries of Poppy Playtime. If we try to clean the writing, ignoring the visual noise and focusing only on the readable letters, we can clearly spot the letters HMMM followed by 3 ellipsis points. Putting these letters together, we get the classic expression, which is the sound people make when they are thinking, reflecting, or considering something. This detail is interesting because it is not just a random text. It is as if someone or something is observing, analyzing, or preparing the next move. This further confirms that the image is not just a teaser but a true narrative message, suggesting that behind the scenes there is a conscious and waiting mind. And, looking even more closely at the image, we can notice another very important detail, a paw of Braun. This element immediately got the community excited because Braun is one of those characters who, although always present in the lore and promotional material, has never really been significantly included in a playable chapter. The presence of his paw could be a huge clue. It could mean that finally Mob Entertainment managed to include Braun in a game, maybe right in Chapter 5. Or it could be a narrative reference confirming his active presence in the story and not just as a side mascot or secondary figure. Finally, there is one last detail we absolutely cannot ignore, the scratches in the background of the image. These marks seem to have been left by something sharp, something with claws or tools capable of cutting surfaces. And here the connection becomes almost immediate. In fact, we know very well that the prototype is known for having sharp claws, and he is one of the most mysterious and dangerous characters in the entire Poppy Playtime universe. These scratches could therefore be a clear reference to his presence, or at least to his influence within the events of Chapter 5. If we put all these elements together, we get a really unsettling picture, which seems to suggest that different characters and forces are converging towards something much bigger. Let's get ready, because this image could be just the beginning of a new series of images. The Mob Entertainment, in fact, have often acted this way in the past. They published a series of consecutive images, each with hidden details and clues that always led further into the story. Each image was a small piece that helped us understand the lore better and build more precise theories. So, even though for now we only have this first image, it is by no means impossible that in the next days or weeks a new image could appear, with more secrets, new references to characters, and maybe even hints about what we will see in Chapter 5. For us fans, this means that the ARG has just begun and every new update could bring incredible surprises and mysteries. Before saying goodbye, as always, I remind you to leave a big like on the video, because your support helps us keep bringing all the news about Poppy Playtime. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any updates, analyses, or theories about the next chapters. That's all for now. Keep staying tuned to the channel, because in the next days we will analyze any new image or clue related to the Chapter 5 ARG. Thank you for watching the video. See you next time. Bye bye.